I hate to use the word anti-hunter, but I truly was. Like, I hated any idea of, like, an animal being killed and cleaned and consumed, because in my head, that meat was at the grocery store growing up. You could just go there and get it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go out and do that.
G'day, everyone. It is Mary here from Country Outdoors Podcast, and I am back for another episode. This week, I'm actually, as you can see, the studio is looking a little different. I am in the Buckmasters headquarters here in Montgomery, Alabama, and I have an old friend of mine, Alyssa Hall, on the show.
G'day, mates. It's your host, Mary O'Neill Phillips, and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
You're like embedded in Buckmasters these days too, and so I want to get into all of that and how that all came about for you. But yeah, I kind of want to like hear your story growing up in Alabama, and I feel like you're such like a Southern belle, like you are like such an Alabama girl. Nice. And Alyssa, like I'm sure you guys have seen her, Allie from Alabama, on social media, but she's one of the girls that has like a huge momentum behind her in the outdoor space, as well as for like hunting deer and turkey, obviously, and then like catfish noodling, which is something that you and your family do a lot of, which is cool. And I have still never done it.
We're gonna have to change that. Now that we have a nanny under our belt for you guys, we're gonna have to change that.
Yeah, I've never done it, which is funny. But yeah, I want to know your story growing up, like your family, where you grew up, what kind of school you went to.
Oh, well, that's sweet.
Country Outdoors is proud to partner with Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America since 1829 and the official light lager of the outdoors.
I did not grow up in the outdoor space. I grew up in a little subdivision outside of Birmingham, Alabama. I am one of 4 daughters. My poor dad. I'm a middle child, but I grew up where I played outside with the cul-de-sac kids. We did ding dong ditch and hide and seek, and I had a fun backyard with trampoline and a pool. But I always felt like meat came from a grocery store. People hunted in other countries. Like it was never no one in my family did it. I didn't have anyone like in my friend group growing up that did it, and so I never got to enjoy like this part of life growing up. And I believe like little 10-year-old me, if she had known now where I am now, I'd be in total shock. I still am in total shock. But then, fast forward, when I turned 20 years old, mine and Cody's lives crossed paths by the grace of God, and he changed everything for me. Mm-hmm. He had been hunting in Mississippi all of his life and has more patience in his pinky toe than I have in my entire body. And
which, FYI, we just found out that he's from West Point, where I live, which I don't know how we never discussed this before. But
with how like remote that place is, to have 2 people in one room that have lived there is really odd. But I love it. But yeah, he has more patience in his little pinky toe than I do my entire body, and thank God for that, because when I met him, I hate to use the word anti-hunter, but I truly was. Like, when I really think about it, I hated any idea of like an animal being killed and cleaned and consumed, because in my head, that meat was at the grocery store growing up. You could just go there and get it. You don't have to go out and do that. But because he was patient, he was like, listen, let's go on one turkey hunt. I think you're going to realize it's not even about killing or harvesting an animal. It is about the experience and being out there. And he was dang sure right, because after that first turkey hunt, I was hooked. Being out in the darkness, walking out into a field and posting up under a live oak tree and listening to a gobbler hollering on his roost before the sun was even fully up, and just like listening to the world wake up in general, I was changed forever from that. And that door being open is what led me to try other things like whitetail hunting, catfish noodling, which is less of like a world waking up moment and not a lot of peace and quiet, but still a lot of fun. And when I look back on like my childhood, I really struggled growing up with self-esteem, still probably do to this day, honestly, but I struggled very badly as a kid with self-esteem. I have a port wine stain birthmark on the right side of my nose, and I was heavily bullied as a kid.
Kids suck, don't they?
They do. It worries me for our children, but
homeschool.
I heavily considering that as we speak. Another conversation for later. But I struggled with self-esteem and like figuring out who I was, and always never really had good friend groups because I didn't have confidence in myself, and so I really kept to myself growing up. And I never knew who I was. I went through college not really knowing who I was or what I wanted to do. And so when I met Cody, who saw me for who I was, gave me confidence, allowed me to be put in situations where I could like challenge myself, try something new, see what I was capable of, it was literally life-changing for me. And so I look at where I'm at now, and I'm like, if Cody had never opened this door, I'd probably still not know who I am in this moment. And I know God placed him in my life to do that, and God has written our story. Golly, when I look back over the last 10 years, it's like, oh, there he was so evidently, and there he was, and there he was, and there he was, even when I didn't see it at the time. And I can't say I'm as strong in my faith as like you are so great at like making sure God stays centered. That's something Cody and I are trying to do better about, but I certainly know he's there and he's written this story for us.
I will like just say I'm not always like it is. I'm very much a human in the world too. Like, yeah, that is very normal. That is extremely normal.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We'll both catch each other. You know, we work together. I'll say that too. Like, Cody also is employed by Buckmasters. He oversees most of our digital efforts as far as like social media platforms go, and then video distribution. So Field and Stream TV, which is what really brought us here. And then also YouTube is like a big focus of his. I am more on like the partnership side. And I've also developed what we call our creator team here at Buckmasters, which is a bunch of people across the states who do and love the same things that Buckmasters does and has the same values as us. But anyways, we work together. And as you know, being in the outdoor space, golly, pretty much everything's egotistical. And we both realize that, and both will get caught up in it or stressed out by it and weighted down by it. And we have like these check-ins. I'd say it's gotten to be about weekly where it's like,
we do too.
Remember what is at the center of this. And it's normally in the moments that feel really heavy.
Well, or if you get into an argument with each other about, I don't know if that happens to you, but like maybe one of you is like living in realizing that you like the ego isn't driven, and the other one's falling a bit more, and it goes back and forth, and you kind of like realize an argument's happening, and then you're like, hey,
whoa, this is ridiculous. Like, what is this even about?
Yeah.
I feel like when I turned 30, which was in February, I've just been having like this massive crash out of like, what are we doing? And is it really serving something bigger than ourselves? And I do want to serve our family, but even that, something bigger than serving our family. And I do think here at Buckmasters, both of us have that opportunity. It's a very faith-focused family, and faith, friends, and family-focused outdoor organization. And so we have that. But yeah, still an incredible disbelief that this is where I am right now at 30 years old.
You know, a lot of us grew up with Field and Stream, dreaming about our next cast, our next hunt, and our next outdoor escape. And now you can read the best of outdoor storytelling the way it was meant to be read. Field and Stream is back in print. For a limited time, new members get a bonus journal with their first delivery, and premium members also get a members-only hat. This special offer is only available for a limited time, so join the 1871 Club today and head to fieldandstream.com/1871club. Country Outdoors is proud to partner with Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America since 1829 and the official light lager of the outdoors.
And then with Field and Stream TV, it's really neat to see our paths crossed. Obviously, we've known each other from, golly, 2019, and the years have just like flown by, probably, or 2020 era,
so
maybe.
it would have been that duck camp was that when we first met?
Oh yeah,
High Plains?
Allison's. No, it was at Allison's.
Oh, was it Allison's?
It was Allison's. I don't even remember what we were doing there.
Dove hunting. We shot like 3 dove. Remember?
That's what it was.
That was, I think, 2020.
Yeah. And
no, 2019. It was 2019.
I thought I knew you.
It was
pre-COVID.
2019.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy because like after 2020, it's been a different
No,
different
it's
world.
like I feel like we're in a matrix, and we were just like, how is that almost like 6 years ago? What the heck?
And when you say that too, it's like I look back, not only, I mean, we talked about childhood, and obviously here I'm at Buckmasters, but I look at the last 6 years, which is almost as old as Addie as my first daughter. And it's like, whoa, at the amount of change in just like 6 short years. You know? Raising a little human, and as we talked about earlier, like Cody and I are both trying to find this balance of how much involvement our kids should have on social media. And right now, I would say he is probably a little more comfortable than I am with putting their faces out there. But that's been an interesting challenge over the last 6 years too.
Yeah, and like things have give and take, do you know what I mean? And seasons too, like you might and then you might choose not to. And like, you know, we had when I was on your show, we had that discussion and things like that. So like I just think like give yourself grace because we're all just trying to figure it out. Anybody who says or acts like they know how to live life is full of it. Like nobody knows how to be a good human in the world and like actually knows how to be like no one, like nobody knows how to do this right. Everyone's figuring it out as they go along.
Right.
You know what I mean? I will say like for me, I found definitely in my 30s, something changes in your 30s too, where you do feel like you're kind of coming into yourself a lot more as like a woman. And, you know, and especially if you're married and you're starting a family. And I feel like there's a lot of change that happens in your 30s where you start to like, I think, really create what the future is going to look like and like we'll set those boundaries and figure out where your limits are and like what's important. I definitely think that 20s is like very ego driven.
Yeah.
Like that's for sure, right? And you're bebopping around and you're like finding relationships and then like who's going to be your guy and then you meet the guy and then it's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just a kid trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I like that you said that though about like how you grew up because I didn't grow up hunting either. I got into it later too. And it's like, isn't it cool though now when you see like your little girl is growing up in it and you're like, she's going to be so much cooler than I was.
I say that all the time. I'm like, man, I'm so jealous that I didn't have that growing up, but I'm so thankful that she does.
Yeah.
But I will say, and you could probably relate to this too, because I remember what life was like before being an outdoors woman and like before having this outlet. I do have like a very deep appreciation for it. That's probably different than somebody who has gotten to do it their whole life. And I also, again, just like thank God for it because my outlets prior to being a hunter and a fisher were way different when it came to finding some peace and quiet and clarity.
Yeah, it's like go shopping.
Yeah.
Buy clothes. Put makeup on.
Yeah.
Go to the bar.
Lots of other things
Yeah.
that I was alluding to. So I don't take I'm not upset that I didn't have it growing up, but I certainly don't take it for granted now that I do get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure Addie gets all of those opportunities in Austin.
Well, yeah, I get that for sure. I think as well, like one of the things when you come into it later, you also realize like how important it is, like hunter recruitment is and like how important that is for you, like that role for yourself because like somebody got you into it. So like you need to get people into it too.
Right.
Like that has to be a part of your DNA.
Yeah.
As somebody who got into it late. All hunters should, but I feel like when you're an adult and you realize, oh, I lived all my life this way and now I'm like this way and it's so much better now, like there's a responsibility almost with that too.
To introduce more people. That's a great way to put that, Mary. I've never thought about that way, honestly. Yeah, I would say when it comes to hunting, I don't think I've done a good job of that. As far as like noodling, like anybody, I feel like I meet people all the time that say I've never done that. And so I'm like, come on, let's go. You know, and Cody and I will do that at least a couple of times a year. And we've built a lot of friendships around getting to share that time together. But I could certainly do a good job as like a hunter, getting more people in the field.
Yeah, well, you've got a good platform for it.
All right, guys, I have a confession to make. I have a terrible sense of direction, and it's no wonder I haven't got lost in the woods or eaten by a bear at this stage, but there's a reason for that, and it's because I have onX Hunt. onX Hunt is incredible. It's an incredible mapping feature, and it has helped me navigate my way out of some pretty sketchy areas using the compass feature. I've been able to get back to my truck. I've been able to drop pins and waypoints to be able to coordinate how to get to A to B, to be able to find that turkey that I saw on the road and knock and get permission. Guys, though, if you really want to know who's a fanatic at dropping pins, it's my husband, Zach. If you look in his phone, he has thousands of these pins. If it was the 1920s, he'd be able to trade them and get some money out of them. But don't take my opinion. Go and download onX today and check it out for yourself. Good luck this fall.
What have your parents said about the change? Because are they pretty city or like?
Yeah, I would say so. My dad would probably be offended when he listens to that. He might be offended, but yeah, they're city. They live in the country on some acreage. But they, work 9 to 5 jobs and drive into a city to work every day, and they don't really do much outdoors. My dad, I remember when the first time I got home from a noodling trip with Cody, and he saw my arm, which was so dumb.
He's like, is he beating you up?
I look back now and I'm like, why did I even not wear a sleeve? That was so stupid. But I got home and my arm looked like I had put it through a meat grinder. And he was like, what in the world happened? And so I'm trying to explain, well, there's this thing, you go underwater and you put your arm in and the fish bites you. And he's like, and who introduced you to this?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God, as soon as I say Cody, he's not going to like Cody anymore. But all worked out. We did bring him that same summer on a Father's Day trip out there just to watch it. I still have those videos. I'll have to get them. I have a picture of me and my dad from that day. And he still hasn't done it, and it's been 10 years. But he went out there and got to understand it. And I will, Dad, if you're listening to this, you can confirm. And I'll have to let Mary know afterwards. But I think my parents are so proud of Cody's ability to, be really patient and teach me things and make me the most independent version of myself that I've ever been.
Because they knew what you were like before.
Oh yeah. And obviously,
had you had boyfriends prior to him?
Oh yeah. One in very long term Mary that I think certainly crushed whatever little bit of self-esteem, and confidence that I had. On the podcast we did on my podcast earlier, you alluded to just a loser who didn't believe in anything, and that was certainly my experience too.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Tell me this. I had lost my I had a specific question that I was gonna.
Me.
This is mom brain, guys.
It's such a real thing.
Oh my God! So on the drive here, I was FaceTiming or audio calling with Mo Pitney, and he was telling me we were talking about stuff, and he was saying that he's been exhausted and losing memory or something like this. He thought he might be a bit sick or something, and I said, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?" I'm because I think I became a much dumber human when I had Molly, and it hasn't come back, and I have these brain freezes that happen every now and again when I'm hosting, and I'm Okay, what I was going to ask you was, what do you think, apart from the mark, what was at the core of the self-esteem stuff? Was it always there from when you were a little kid, or did it start in high school?
No, you mean what triggered the self-esteem issues?
Or were you just at school with kids that were mean?
Yeah. So to give you, I was just at school with kids that are mean, because I had a very loving family. I had 3 very loving I had 2 older sisters and a younger, all of which never made me feel different. But because of my port wine stain birthmark and not wearing makeup at 6 and 7 years old, also I underwent surgery to kind of minimize the birthmark, because my mom knew I was getting bullied, and at the time laser treatment was an option, a newer option. And so we went and I did a couple surgeries. Well, I remember being put under anesthesia and thinking when I wake up, my birthmark is going to be almost non-existent, and life is going to be so different. Everyone's going to treat me normal. I'm going to have friends. And I woke up, and instead, it's obvious now, but as a 7-year-old or however old I was at the time, laser burns your face. It's not it's an eraser that comes over. And so I remember waking up and being so excited to look in the mirror. And when they held the mirror up, this entire right side of my face was just black. And I thought, I'm never going out in public ever again. And obviously I had to. I had to go to school. My parents both worked blue collar jobs, and so homeschool was not an option then, it might be for Molly and Addie and Austin now. It wasn't practical. And so I was probably back at school, a week later. The bullying was much worse.
And the school weren't doing anything about it?
My teachers were very hands-on and tried to be proactive and minimize it, but there was only so much they could do. I do remember, shout out to Miss Gray, my 3rd grade teacher. who she put this basket together for when I came back from surgery of just a bunch of girly girl like goodies that any kid would look forward to and be excited about. And she allowed my mom to come into the classroom just to share like why Alyssa's face may look bruised and what's going on, which honestly is probably a little more embarrassing.
But she's just trying to protect
My mom was
you,
trying
you
to help.
know?
Yeah, everyone was just trying to help. And you know, like we talked about earlier, anyone who thinks they have all the answers doesn't, and that was just at the time what they thought was
Yeah.
the best solution.
Yeah.
But kids will be kids, and I remember this one kid. His name was Nathan. He would sit. You know, you like
We're
carry.
coming for you, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't even remember his last name, but
This is so
shout out to him if he-
unmemorable.
That's right. That's how big of an impression he made. You know, like in the lunchroom cafeteria, you would carry trays of food, and like you had to go to like this little window to go dump your food. He would sit at this one little rectangle table and await for me to go take my tray. And he would sit there and he would sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because my nose is red. Port wine stain birthmarks, if you look those up, they're like a wine color, like a Merlot-y color. And so that little turd would do that every day until it becomes your internal voice.
For sure.
I am very thankful that, you know, I feel like because of the rise of social media and just digital platforms in general, our younger generation now, it has become so much more common to like have suicidal thoughts or, you know, not want to be around anymore. And I'm so, so thankful that I did not grow up with that community like right at my fingertips to like justify some thoughts that I could have had, you know. But here I am now, and it's okay. It all works out.
Well, I think it's also like I was bullied a lot in primary school too, and I was chubby, and I would get called like there was. Do you know the movie Stand By Me?
Oh, of course.
You remember boom ba ba boom ba ba boom.
Mary, yes.
No, and I ended up having an eating disorder in high school, and like to the point that I was like, I wait. What is 45? Hey Siri, what is 45 pounds? 45 kilos in pounds.
And this is in high school?
This was in high school, but it was from like years of
Mary.
Yeah, like years and years and years of bullying and like
That's
about my weight. Yeah, what is that?
Less than 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It's 99 pounds.
Yeah, and like I just think like you just have to be so careful of. That's why like as an adult, like I just try to choose my words more wisely, but you don't realize the power of your words what they can have on somebody else's life, you know? And like that's what scares me. I do want to talk about the homeschool thing because like I just like see my little girl and her little light, and I know what I went through, and like most of our parents, especially like how the world used to be, really had no idea of like everybody sent their kids to school, and that's just the normal thing to do. You send your kids to school and don't really know like all this stuff that's going on and like how that's going to have repercussions for that person's life. And like I just want to protect Molly from that so much. Like the thought of her being in a situation where somebody is like bullying her and making her feel terrible about herself like hurts my heart so much. But yeah, I'd love to hear your perspective on homeschool because we're trying to figure that out too. And part of it's safety, part of it's bullying, part of it is like we're on the road. Like
honestly, all three of those checked boxes that we've discussed.
Yeah.
So being in Alabama, the state is very lenient about homeschooling. It would be, I don't want to say easy because we do have full-time jobs, but like our work family here would be so understanding if we said we're going to homeschool Addie, like we could convert one of these offices into a little space. You know, my only hesitation about homeschooling right now is she is just in this little era of like thriving socially, and she loves friends. She loves to feel like she's got a little girl gang at school that she gets to see. And so while that's healthy, I do want her to like be developing in that area of her life. But I'm like you said, I worry that could change overnight. That could change when she officially goes to kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Cody and I have talked about it at length, and we've prayed about it a lot. And it's almost like I'm sitting here waiting on some sort of
situation.
Yeah.
I've been thinking if I did do it, Molly's 3 in June. If I did do it, I'd like to find a pod because I agree, like the social part, like Molly gets socialized at church on, at the church stuff and like loves it and all of that. And like if she walked in here now, she'd want to be your girlfriend too. Like just
So
loves having a
cute.
girlfriend. But I agree, like, so yeah, I thought like if I could find a couple of other families around that like I know and I know how they're like what their like morals and ethics are, how they're raising their household. Like that's the thing that freaks me out is like you send your kids to school and like you don't know what's going on in these people's homes,
Totally.
and like how and like what they think is okay for their kids might not be how I want it. And like you're 8 hours or 7 hours a day and they're undoing all this great training that you're doing and all of that. And then there's like all the other danger stuff. But yeah, I thought maybe if I found a pod like where there's like 4 kids or 5 kids, like a couple girls, couple boys. And then like, the other thing is like just the thought of like them being stuck behind a desk for that long and not being like out running around and stuff like ADD. No, it's called like energy. They're a kid. They need to run.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I was actually talking to Addie's pre-K teacher last week after her little Easter party. She has a daughter who's like in 3rd grade and they were going through standardized testing. And she was telling me how much stress and anxiety a 3rd grader was facing about standardized testing, like not sleeping at night, crying, telling her mom.
Crazy.
And I'm like, why are we doing this to kids? These are kids that still have stuffed animals in the bed with them at night. And like, here we are putting that much stress in their little lives. It's so unnecessary.
When was the school, look up on your phone, when was the school system implemented? Because it was like it's going to go down in my conspiracy theorist rabbit hole because I know the Rothschilds are at the center of all of this, as well as the, what do you call it? What is that thing called? The temple with the creepy people. I've had another
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Not the Illuminati, but kind of the, the people that pretend, the guys that they pretend they're doing really good stuff, but they're actually like massive creeps that wear capes and kill children.
Why are we doing this? Mom brain is such a real thing. I told Cody the other day, I'm like,
what is it called? The cult, like it's, and like, but like I think there are like clusters of it around that people think that they're doing good deeds and whatever, but it's like linked to a much more like satanic, Freemason.
Freemason.
Sorry if there's any Freemasons listening that aren't like super culty, but the Freemason church has been connected back to some pretty satanic things. Anyway,
the school system implemented in the 19th century.
19th century.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing that freaks me out too, is like we're crushing the creativity out of these kids, and like God created us all individually. We're not meant to be robots to a system.
Agreed.
We're meant to like some people are geniuses and can fix puzzles, and then some people are painters and some people are builders, and I don't know. That freaks me out too, is like trying to put a peg into a square hole or whatever they say.
These kids,
yeah, and it's like
that.
So, but I get that it's really hard for parents too, because like most parents have to go and work a 9 to 5 and don't have the luxury of even choosing to do a pod,
Right. I mean,
so,
golly, diesel, we're talking about diesel fuel earlier. To live in this economy, it's I won't say it's impossible because we have friends that do it somehow, but it is nearly impossible to have a 1-income household and like live a full life, a life of travel and like being able to afford the things you probably want to afford for your kids.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think everyone's fallen into this trap of like send your kids to school from 7 a.m. and they don't get home till, 4 o'clock if they ride the bus. And I mean, and that's a whole nother thing too. I've learned like having a kid in primary school, I'm like, so she gets out at 3, but I'm expected in normal jobs to work till 5 p.m. Like, what? Yeah. And she's 4. I'm not putting her on a school bus.
On a school bus with some weirdo out driving around the world.
And who is she going home to? If you know what I mean? It's just all so wild. And like having kids has opened my eyes.
And then you see them for what? How many hours total in an entire day?
Yeah. When I think about my job in like corporate prior to this, I'm like, I was getting up at 5 a.m., getting Addie ready, dropping her off at daycare by 7, working until almost 6, and picking her up, and she was in bed by 8. So think about that. I saw my kid for like 3 to 4 hours. Yes, God he felt my pain and heard my cries then, and that's why I'm here, no doubt.
Yeah.
But for all the moms that are doing that,
It's
I'm
so
so
hard,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. You're
I
not
know
alone.
we were sold, women post World War were sold a lie, I think, in many ways, that like life would be so much better once you enter the workforce. And that probably sounds super anti-feminism, but I see so many women that are like now in their 40s and they're like great, they're like making great moves in their career and now want to have a kid and have completely missed the boat and are realizing, whoa, that was the point. Like the point was to have a family. And like I also get not everybody wants to have a family. I'm not saying that. Like everybody's entitled to choose what they want to do, but like for those ones who do, then it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
It really is. And correct me if I'm wrong, but do you guys have family that live nearby that are able to help us?
No.
Either?
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
So
Zach's-
that's been eye-opening.
That is challenging. And so like, yeah, Zach's family's in Missouri and the mine's in Australia. And I was telling you, like on this trip, this is our first trip bringing a nanny with us, which is also like scary, you know, because you've got to like, it's just like trusting anyone with your kids, same as like a daycare thing. But having a nanny with us just seemed like a better option than the alternate. So I'll let you guys know, watch this space on how it's going. Hopefully it's going good.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it is. I think it's really challenging for people. And like, just for anybody who's watching, we're there with you, struggling too. Like it is a tough economy right now. It's a tough world to be living in. $6 a gallon for diesel is insane.
And groceries are insane. I think Cody and I were talking about it recently, and I'm like,
you can't go to without spending $200 every time.
I tried to keep track for a month, and I'm like, how do you spend almost $2,000 on like necessary things?
Yeah.
For 2 children and 2 adults.
I know, you're like, the cupboard's not even like stocked. Like this is not like even a situation where it's like when we run out, I've got another can there. It's like, this is just like to fill up the house for a week.
I totally agree. And it's made me realize like the things that the world has almost forced us to get away from just for convenience.
Oh, like garden, like your vegetables.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yep.
Yeah, is
To 100, I don't think I lose my enthusiasm.
I realized we got as a community, as a literally everybody, we got away from the things that were feeding our family because we didn't have the time after what we were sold, you know, like this 9 to 5 and this rat race. And so, I don't know, since 2018, Cody and I have done a garden. It's just gotten bigger and bigger every year. We've had chickens.
Let's talk about
then.
that, because I don't have a garden and I want to start one.
Wow, that'd be so great for y'all. And I mean, you're in a rural area.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
probably got plenty of space.
Yeah. How did you start it?
Well, fortunately for me, Cody's mom always did it. And so she taught him all of it growing up. But on Good Friday every year, we've already got the ground tilled and we'll plant, I mean, a plethora of stuff. Like down here in the South, we have really sandy soil, so everything pretty much thrives. But we'll do squash, we do corn, we do okra, tomatoes.
So you till it and then you lay the cloth.
I don't even have to do cloth.
Okay.
So we literally just till it, bare dirt. We have a neighbor who has cows.
So that's easy.
We go and get us some good old compost from the neighbor, and we mix it in with a second till. So we'll till it again, and it'll mix the compost in. And we'll do individual plants.
So then, okay, walk me through the entire step-by-step process. Like how far apart? Are you buying like a partially?
Yeah, we go to a little mom and pop like co-op shop down here because you could go to Lowe's or like any other hardware stores that you have, and they have a nice garden section, but you can get those casings of like 6 crops usually that are little plants. Yeah, they're a couple inches tall. And depending on what the crop is that you're planting will determine the space you need. So like on squash, they grow huge. So we normally try to do like 4 foot apart from each squash. Corn, you could stack them right on top of each other. Okra, step by step you're just doing every like 36 inches or something. Like they grow up, not out. So it certainly just depends on what you want to plant. But I will say I went to our local Tractor Supply probably back in like 2021 when I was trying to learn a little bit more. get off the internet. Like, get off the internet, quick.
Just go in.
Yeah, go in and get a book. Like,
Okay.
there are books for agriculture and for canning. So if you want to take what you get out of the garden and not use it right then or freeze it, you want to can it, learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And don't ask your phone, because everything's AI now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just learn.
Learn how
Quit
to do it.
depending on that. Yeah. So we're doing that. And then I highly suggest, if you don't have chickens, to have chickens. It's
Yeah.
so great for the kids.
Yeah.
Gives them something to look forward to. They get home every day. And the first thing Austin says when we get home is baby chicks and eggs. He wants to go out there and he wants to see all
Plus,
the baby
like, eggs
chicks.
are so expensive too. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
No joke. Now, don't let me lie to you and tell you that chickens are cheap, because I thought, okay, we're going to get chickens and they're just going to
Make
free
eggs.
range and just make eggs. No, these little heifers, like, they get all kinds of random mites that you have to treat. They get sickly for no reason and fall over dead. Like, you've got to give them vitamins whenever they got cold stuff going on. So they're high maintenance.
Is there a checklist that you like run through with them?
Honestly, no.
I feel like because I've had a guinea. I can't keep a guinea pig alive. I can't keep like a
You've
hen.
had a guinea pig. God bless you.
Oh, I've got another story for that. I'll tell you at the end of the gardening stuff, because
Okay.
it's like bad.
We'll do that. But yeah, I would say, like, just the world has gotten us away from those things. And in
Mhm.
the evenings, when I get to go home and tend to something like that, not only do
Yeah.
I feel closer to God, it's a family activity. We're outdoors.
You're teaching your kids how to
Yes.
survive.
Pass something on that's meaningful.
Well-
and like hunting does that, right? But it's
Also,
another
with all the
aspect.
chemicals and stuff that are now sprayed, like it's hard to not be a conspiracy theorist when all the dots are connected, because, like, I mean, they say like a conspiracy theorist is just like 6 months between the truth. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
so true. Look at COVID.
And it is, and it's just like, oh, all the people talking about chemtrails.
They're
Now
real.
they're talking about chemtrails. All the people talking about the pesticides on the food.
They're there.
They're there, and we're all talking about it now because people are sick with cancer and all of this stuff. And that's the other thing too. And it's like, was this all one big scheme that was set up to, like, yeah, let's get women into the workforce and working as robots, not tending to gardens, not feeding their families. Now they're stuck. Now fast food's invented, so they have to be eating fast food. Like, McDonald's was literally, fast food was invented as like a sales pitch to like the workforce that, hey, you can feed your family quickly. And so now you're feeding them all of that, and now they're eating. Now you have to spray chemicals, even though, like, for how long did we have food for before they were covered in chemicals?
Right.
And so now you're sick, and now you're dependent on the doctor, and now you got to take pain pills and sick pills and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, we've just gotten so far away from where it's meant to be at.
I know. And when I feel like having kids, really, I wouldn't say I was totally ignorant prior to that, but it made me start looking at what is in processed food.
The dyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, y'all can call me crazy. I don't care. My children absolutely act differently if they consume a ton of artificial dyes
Yeah,
in a
for
day.
sure. They're mental.
Give them, Christmas morning after grandparents and everybody have handed them all kinds of candy. They're gonna be atrocious for like the next 2 days.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful that there are, brands that have started to come out with artificial free, no dyes.
But you pay for it.
You do, yeah.
Anything that's organic, and like, even just organic doesn't mean that it's clean. Like,
That's
you
so
have to
true.
read through it,
That
but
is
you
so
pay
true.
for it.
But yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, a good example of that. Good point, Mary. Whenever I went to get stuff for Easter baskets, I was like picking out Mondo Llama crafts, like all these fun, like hands-on things they could do. And I'm like, if these kids look at these Easter baskets and there's no candy, they are going to be disappointed. So I'm like, I'm going to look into this specific brand that doesn't have Skittles and M&Ms, but they have their version. Okay. A little bag.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking like a little, like 6-ounce bag of Giggles, i.e. Skittles, was almost $6. It's
Yeah.
$5.38 when you could buy Skittles for like
Yeah.
a whole 50 cents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wild. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
wild.
why, like, you have to just kind of do like the 80-20 code or whatever, and it's like 80% of the time we're going to be good, and then the 20% on the holidays and whatever, fine, eat it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm dealing with,
So true.
and you can't be perfect
and take.
100% of the time.
Yep. Give and take.
For sure. But it is hard. I think that's pretty relatable. to a lot.
Guinea pig story though. I'm dying now.
Since 1973, the National Wild Turkey Federation has been working tirelessly to conserve the wild turkey and to preserve our hunting heritage. Today, the need for hunters to get involved is just as important as the wild turkey is facing declines, and the continuation of our outdoor pursuits are at risk in many parts of the country. Visit nwtf.org and join for just $35 to leave a lasting legacy that will help conserve wildlife and unite a nation through life-changing power of the outdoors.
So my younger brother, he was like 12 or maybe 11, and he had a guinea pig called Cookie, and it was called Cookie because it was black and white. And anyway, my family went away on a holiday overseas somewhere, and I was left at home, and one of my jobs was to look after Cookie. And so I had brought Cookie out to the back table to clean his cage out, and my oh so lovely Jack Russell got into the cage and killed Cookie. So I guess I had turned away or whatever. I was also like 19 and probably just
Didn't care.
oblivious. So that was quite a graphic scene to come back to. Anyway, I, in my, trying to do the right thing, thought, I just have to buy another guinea pig, like find another black and white guinea pig. So I went to the markets and could not find a black and white guinea pig. The only one I could find was ginger colored, like full on ginger. And it was like flaming orange.
Oh,
so I was like, he's not going to know. Like, he won't know because he's a kid. Like,
Oh, Mary. Oh, God.
So I get this orange guinea pig and put it in the cage, and he comes home and I will never forget this. I'm standing in the kitchen. We had like an old Victorian house, long hallway. The kitchen's at the back, and they come back, they get out of the taxi, open up the front door, and he comes like running through this hallway, like so excited to see Cookie. Like this, he goes into the laundry, and then I just hear, "That's not Cookie."
It's not funny, but it's funny.
It was so bad. I was like, oh no, I'm going to cop it so bad because I hadn't told my parents or anything. And I was like, sure it is. And he's like, Cookie's black and white. Like, that's why he was called Cookie, right? Like, he was Cookie black and white. And I wasn't good at keeping. I also had many chickens.
You did grow up.
Like little ones. They never got to full chicken stage. I would say chicks. It turns out Jack Russells and any type of other animal is a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I've stuck to dogs since then. I would like to have chickens though. I don't know how Forrest would go with them. I think he might be okay. Golden retrievers can be pretty good, but he's also a hunting dog, so.
Oh yeah, maybe not a good thing.
If you had the free range, what does it mean to be free range? Like, how much space do they need?
I don't know how much space they need, but you could have. I mean, I know people who have done free range chickens on like an acre, but you're gonna have to feed them. Like you're gonna have to give them cracked corn and all the things if you're doing that. Our chickens are not full free range, so we have a barn, a very old barn. Our house was built like in the early 1900s, and the barn has been there with it since. We took one of the like lean-to parts of the barn and converted it into a chicken coop. And so the chickens will stay in there at night. Chickens, for those, I didn't know this, but growing up, like, I didn't have chickens. Chickens will go back to their coop at night to roost. So, like, they'll come out, graze during the day. As soon as that sun's going down, it's like clockwork, where they're all in the line to go in there and get on their spot on the roost. So that's what our chickens do. But we also have she's like a lab mix, who's our yard/guard dog. Mama is her name, and she has a taste for chickens. So whenever the chickens, if we let them out in the morning, she's has to go. Yeah, okay. She's got to go to a kennel. So we could always work a deal out like that with Forrest.
I do like the idea of having my own chickens. Tell me your plans for the spring.
Oh gosh, honestly, with two littles, I feel like ever since I had Austin, which is going to be 2 in June, 2 years, it feels like I can't plan ahead like that. Like it's on a week-to-week basis almost. So
do you guys like hunt locally to the house?
Yeah.
Are you on land or do you have?
So we're on 5 acres, and then we have 99 behind us that the family who sold us our house still owns, but they live out of state.
And you've got permission.
Mhm.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's a God thing for sure. It's been beautiful. So we hunt back there. I mean, we'll randomly call up. We've got one little babysitter who we trust, and she'll come over at 5:00 in the morning and let us go hunt. So we'll hunt there. And we have property for those that are, aware of how South Alabama is situated. We have property in Laverne and Brundage, which is like a 30-minute drive each way from the house. But as far as out of state, nothing really has been on my schedule with the kids. Cody will do a little bit of trips this year, but not me.
Well, I think like hunting close to home is great anyway.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so good. And like coming home, like with specifically whitetail season, because turkey just opened up for us a couple weeks ago. Whitetail season, and I got to go back behind the house and harvest a deer at home. Getting to go get the kids.
Yeah.
And then them come down and get the deer and like everybody be together. So wonderful.
And sleep in your own bed too, and like
So
be making your
and be mom until the moment I have to walk out and just go sit in the stand for a little bit, which is beautiful. It's for those that are married and have kids, if you're lucky enough that your spouse is like, yeah, you go have some you time, I'm gonna stay with the kids. It's amazing, But spring, I mean, I love turkey hunting. It's just I prioritize the kids right now over that.
Tell me the difference between having the first and the second.
Having the first was way harder of a transition than going from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2 was way harder. Addie now has like a built-in best friend, and so she's occupied in ways that she wasn't before.
How old was she when
she was almost 4?
Oh, okay, that's about
and
right.
So she's like little mom over there. And she ate that up. It was like a real life baby doll. And also I had just learned to like come to the realization that like this is the phase of life I'm in with Addie. I had to learn like she can go where I need her to go with me, sure. I'm not gonna like, change my whole life where she can't fit into it, like where I'm working around having a newborn baby. But fit her into that where I can, but also just like slow down and enjoy this time and stop worrying about chasing all the stuff you were chasing before.
Yeah.
I know.
I think as well, like you have to remind yourself it's okay if things change.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't be that person that you were
For forever,
and for forever, and you can't do all of those things, and nor should you want to, and nor should you need to. Like and the only pressure really you put on yourself is yourself, because if you're working with people that are good, that have kids, they get it too. But I totally get that, because I used to think, how can I do what I used to do and things like that, and I'm like, you can't. You just can't. Or you're gonna be a sucky parent.
That's right.
Like
and I'm not willing to be that sucky parent.
I know.
You don't get these years back. But having Austin, I had already grown up, is what I'm calling it. I'd already grown up. I had already realized what was important. And so I'm just soaking him up. I'm soaking 2 of them up now. And if we get opportunities to go hunt together and spend an early morning like we just did that last week, on Good Friday, we randomly felt like on Thursday, you know what? We just want Cody and myself in a field waiting for a gobbler. And so we did that. Called the babysitter who lived 5 minutes away, and she was there the next morning. But I'm just soaking up being mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that certainly can take a hit to the things that used to matter to me. Like it used to matter. We've talked about comparison in this outdoor space. It used to matter to me that I posted enough that my engagement stayed good. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
It's not what's important.
No, and if you give it to God, it's always going to work out too. And like, it's okay for things to look different. It is a struggle though, to like go through that whole processing, and like, it's almost like a detoxifying of
So
this
true.
thing.
That's
isn't it?
well said. That's so
Yeah.
well said. But also, I'll play devil's advocate too on it, because I do go back and forth in my head. I know it's important, and what's important to me is my family. Right now, our jobs are basically around social media and like this digital era. And I want to make sure I continue to have the leniency that I have because of my job. I don't want to go back to corporate world. I could. I have a degree.
Which means delivering. There's a fine line. There's a fine line between not using being a parent as an excuse to not do anything.
So true.
And then setting boundaries. Yeah.
To make sure.
Because sometimes you can be like, well, I need, family's more important. And you're like, yeah, but I really haven't done anything. I'm like, It's been a couple of weeks now. I probably need to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. You've got it. There is a balance. I think like the big thing as well is like Zach and I really try and do this, and like where we butt head sometimes is when we both like fall out of it, but it'll be like first thing in the morning is family time, no looking at your phone. Like we all sit together, we have a cup of coffee, we check in, Molly's together, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like when work starts, go.
Yeah.
But like having those times, and then it's like, okay, 5 o'clock started, phones are away.
Yeah.
And like I've been bad with that lately because we were launching the swimwear brand and things like that. And so I'm on my phone like trying to fit no. But like you have to check in because it's like set those perimeters. Though I think like that's a really good thing too, is like trying to set the perimeters and staying with it. And like life happens, but it's like you need to like
have that boundary built. I agree. I actually went on a podcast for a local podcaster here, and we talked about that same thing. And there are moments, like you said, where one of you, we kind of got to break the rules a little bit, but Cody and I have made it okay to tell each other, like, hey, present. We'll use the word present. Be present. And then we're like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, that can wait. You know? Or if it's something very important and I say, Cody, hey, let's be present. He's like, I really do need to get this done, but give me 5 minutes and I'll fully be here.
I don't know if you've had this, but like the biggest killer will be when your kid says to you, Mommy, off your phone. And she said that to me once, and I was like a couple weeks ago, and I was like,
yes, ma'am. Yeah, I know I've had those moments, and I don't recall exactly what Adia said, but I feel like she maybe had to like repeat a question to me,
and then you're
because
like, oh,
you're not in it, and she'll go, Mommy, please just look at me.
I know,
and I'm like,
and you're like, oh, that kills
soul
me.
crushed.
But then also on the same note, it's also like the balance of, yeah, but sometimes that's definitely valid, and then sometimes also, Mummy has to get this done. Give her 5 minutes, and then I'm with you.
So
it's a constant like balance. It's hard to be a parent.
And I've tried to help Addie understand. I mean, she's almost 6, and she doesn't fully get that. Like we work from this. You know, like you might be home with Mommy today, and like, but your friend AJ's mom drove somewhere to go to school today.
Yeah.
I mean, to go to work today. And so I do have to work even though you're here. I would love to give you all of my attention. But instead, right now, here's a craft I need you to work on. Mm-hmm. And Mommy does have to be on her phone or her computer. But it's certainly just making me realize, like, over-communicate. Over-communicate in your marriage. Over-communicate to your kids. Yeah. Over-communicate to the people you work with.
Yeah.
Because poor communication at the end of the day is what's going to ruin a situation.
100%.
But yeah, I feel like we're blessed by it. It can also just be poison if you're not aware of it, you know?
Yeah. I think it's very, very, there's a lot of families that are just walking. I think every family probably is walking through this, and it's easy to jump on your phone too. It's like, and the scrolling thing, like I've been so guilty of it too. And it's just like, when you realize you're like, ah!
Yeah, you want to throw it away.
Yeah,
totally. Well, Cody and I will have those moments like late at night, and we're both just doom scrolling in bed, like showing each other stupid videos, and I'll be like,
ugh, I should be asleep. What am I doing?
Our devotional's right there.
Yeah.
We did it this morning.
Yeah.
What if we had done that this evening instead of this?
I know.
And I think that if we woke up and we spent our mornings, like you said, every morning, if we got up, we went on the front porch, which we're good about, I'd say 3 days of the week, and we use excuses other days, but we'll go to the front porch with the kids. Everybody has coffee. Theirs is not coffee.
Yeah,
it's literally
Molly
milk.
does a fake coffee too. Froth milk. That's what Molly does, it's a baby chino.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll go sit on the front porch and like enjoy each other and everything. If everybody had time to do that, the world would be different. It's just sad that we don't. That's not the world we live in.
No, I know.
You know?
I know.
I know so many moms getting up before the sun comes up and getting things prepared and going to work and taking their kids to school.
Yeah. So if you're one of those moms listening, we are thinking about you because it's a challenge. It's a challenge being a parent regardless. And then with all the stuff that this like new world has like loaded on everybody, it's just fuel prices, food prices, economy dips, economy's up, can't stay home with your kids, blah, blah. It's like challenging. So you got to find those times to really enjoy life. And I really truly think like the outdoors is really at the center of that. And that's my plug for her episode. But it's true. Like, it's true because like what other environment do you have apart from maybe when you're in church that you go to where you're like, I can breathe?
Yeah, no.
You know?
Right. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
So I'm glad our children have that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm really excited to see everything that you're doing, and it seems like you've got a great thing going on here, and I love that you've got your kids at the center of all of this, and
Thank you.
yeah, you're thriving and doing well and super relatable on everything that we discussed. So
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah.
Thanks for making the time. I know
Yeah.
it wasn't easy. The little one and Zach are out in the parking lot with Nanny. I'm
No,
sure.
you're good. Oh, for all your Buckmaster stuff, where can people watch episodes?
Yeah, so you can find Buckmasters. We're on every social media platform there is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. We're also still on linear TV with Outdoor Channel, but we recently partnered with Field and Stream, and you can find us on there too, on their Fast Channel app.
And then you can go to Allie from Alabama on
Al.
TikTok and Instagram to check
Yes,
out all of
thank
her own stuff. I don't know if you do Snapchat, but
No,
no,
I
me
need to.
neither.
I've heard I need to.
I heard people are making bank on Snapchat, but do you know they're constantly posting,
I know,
and so
see,
I just can't.
I
Like,
get it. We could go down that for 10 more minutes, but let's wrap.
thank you.
Thank you.
Right here we all thank heaven for God's grocery store.